हेलो। हाँ, अभी मैं लाइव हूँ। चलो, आज करेंगे काजुआ की स्टोरी। क्या क्या चल रहा है काजुआ की जिंदगी में, आज देखेंगे। इधर नहीं यार, इधर नेविगेट करो सीधा शुरुआत से पूरा। और बहुत ज़्यादा लैग होने वाला है, ये तो पक्का है, क्योंकि यस लैग होने वाला है। क्यों होने वाला है उसका कोई इशू नहीं। उसके बारे में बात ना करना है, ये अच्छा है। अपने को खेलने से मतलब है, भले थोड़ा सा लैग ही क्यों ना हो। अपने को उधर जाना है, लेकिन बीच में ये लोग आ रहे हैं तो उसको इनको साफ करना बनता है। ये उठा लो भाई, यहाँ से उठा लिया ना। वो यार बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल हो रही है मेरे को खेलने के लिए। ओके, देखते काजुआ क्या बोलता है। अबे अबे बहुत मतलब कल ही तो। अरे यार मैंने ऑटो नहीं रखा, ऑटो रखो। As if in the blink of an eye. Okay. There have been many memorable events. Hey, memorable. Sorry, क्या पढ़ रहा हूँ? Memorable events. Okay. क्या बोलूँ इसको? ये बोल दे चलो। बात तो सही है। काजुआ को मिलने चलते चलो। Wait a moment. कौन है कौन है कौन है? ए मेरे को दिखाओ पहले। बी केयरफुल, someone's coming. Someone's coming. बी केयरफुल, वो रहने की जरूरत है। अरे सीरियस भाई, तू मार सकता? अरे ये तो ये भी नहीं है, वो बड़ा वाला रहता है, वो भी नहीं है, छोटा वाला है। अभी तक तो मैंने शील्ड भी नहीं लगाए तू। अरे यार ये एक सेकंड।
So you don't have a vision after all.
ओह विजन के पीछे। अबे क्यों खत्म हो गया वो? सही बात बोली इसने। बात तो सही है, लेकिन वो तलवार कैसे मेरे को पसंद आई वो।
Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animal vision. That's none of your business.
ऐसे कैसे तू हमको पीटने लगा? तू नन ऑफ योर बिजनेस कैसे बोल?
You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
अच्छा तो निकल, हमने थोड़ी ना रोका था तेरे को।
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here waving that weird sword in our faces, and he didn't even apologize. Seems like a real nutcase.
हाँ सही बात बोली।
One thing's for sure, no way are we telling him anything about Kazuha.
Very small for once. दोनों का मीनिंग तो पता है नहीं।
Right? Paimon has a feeling though that even if this guy gets to challenge Kazuha to a duel, he won't be able to beat him. Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go fight Kazuha right away and tell him to watch his back.
Okay.
Oh? What kind of hunch?
अरे यार एक मत दो। I can't say for sure, but I feel like their fighting styles are kind of similar. What do you mean? I feel like their fighting styles are similar. I can't say for sure. क्या बोल रहा है ये? Special connection. You may really know each other. पता नहीं। Maybe a little. But then again, most people look pretty much the same once they start fighting, so that doesn't really prove anything. बात तो सही बोली।
There's no time to
लेकिन पता नहीं।
Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any danger. Hyman heard that the Crux fleet is
एक
stacking
सेकंड
up
एक
in
सेकंड।
Rito at the moment.
अच्छा
Let's
ये
look
फुल
for
है ना,
him
हाँ
there.
सही है। नहीं नहीं, काम करता हूँ मैं, इसको हाफ कर लेता हूँ। आई मीन मैं अपनी OBS सेटिंग की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं। 2 मिनट देगा मेरे को मेन्यू ओपन करना है, हाँ बस। ऑडियो को जो डायलॉग ऑडियो है
Hyman
उसको
coming
मैं
in. Hyman coming in.
इसको फुल
Is this level okay?
फुल
Can
नहीं
you hear Hyman?
7 रखता हूँ ये, और म्यूजिक 4 रखता हूँ। चलिए इतना काफी है, क्योंकि मुझे भी तेजी से आवाज आती है, फिर प्रॉब्लम ये होता है। और मैं पागल हूँ जो 500 मीटर चल के जाने वाला हूँ ना भाई। ये किस लिए दिए है? टेलीपोर्ट दिए है तो यूज करना चाहिए। अरे भाई पीछे। काजुहा हमेशा बोर्ड पे क्यों रहता है? एक सेकंड रुको। कैरेट तो कैरेट, जो मिले वो उठा लो। जल्दी पता चलो।
Hello. Do you know where Kazuha is?
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all.
तो?
Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha. If
Why?
it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so
No
you
comments.
still don't know what he did.
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be?
You could compare it to the technical battles. Eh? Technique, sorry. मैं वही बोलूँ, टेक्निका क्यों बोल रहा हूँ? टेक्निक बेड यूज द स्टिक डाउन स्ट्राइक डाउन Heishan. Okay.
Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called
Well,
away earlier by some people from the Tenryo Commission. They
हाँ,
said they had something important to discuss with him. I
अच्छा,
thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little
पर
while
क्यों?
ago, this would have been completely unimaginable.
चल क्या रहा है, मेरे को समझाओ पहले। क्या? हैं? मैं
Thank
इसके साथ
you.
जाता हूँ।
Guess we'll go pay a visit to the Tenryo Commission.
All right then. I'll just stay here and carry on trying to fend off the crowd.
अच्छा, कर ले फिर। मैं जाता हूँ तो क्वेस्ट नहीं यार, क्वेस्ट नहीं, यहाँ पर जाना है मेरे को। एक सेकंड, यहाँ पर मैं कुछ चमकता हुआ दिख रहा है मेरे को। छोड़ो ना, जो मिले उठा लो। लिटरली वहां पर क्लिक तक नहीं हुआ टेलीपोर्ट के बटन के ऊपर। जो रास्ता दिया है उसी से चलो। एक सेकंड, ये मत बोलना कि ये नहीं, ये अलग है, ये अलग है। नहीं वही है। अरे यार मैं डायरेक्ट टेलीपोर्ट कर सकता था ना इधर। रुको एक सेकंड, ये अलग है मेरे को लग रहा है। हाँ ये अलग है, ये इधर है और ये इधर है ना, हाँ सही है। मैं वही बोलूँ ये, तो क्या मैं इसके अंदर जा सकता हूँ? ऑफ कोर्स जा सकता हूँ मैं। अगर ये नया बॉस दे तो मजा आएगा, लेकिन मेरे को नहीं लगता नया बॉस। प्लेस तो लग रही नया बॉस देने की, लेकिन नहीं देंगे मेरे को पता है। अगर देते तो फिर जिन्होंने काजुहा की स्टोरी खत्म की है उनके पास हो जाता।
Oh, it's you.
और मुझे पता है कि किसी के पास
Greetings.
नहीं है कोई बॉस।
We were just discussing the We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on
तो
behalf
इसका
of the
नाम
shogun.
बहुत खतरनाक है.
Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state
I
of
mean
affairs that we
surname.
now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful.
अच्छा.
The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaidahara name.
भाई तेरा
Regarding the
नाम इतना
history of the
गंदा क्यों
Kaidahara
है?
clan,
I mean
I trust that
surname.
you're already somewhat informed? In
अच्छा
short,
छोड़ना.
there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the almighty shogun. The Kaidahara clan belonged to this class. But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great turmoil.
फिर भी क्या चल रहा है मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा
This
है.
adventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaidahara clans was neither proper nor just. Considering Mr. Kaidahara has once more made an outstanding
भाई कितना
contribution to
बोलेगा?
Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but also receive recompense for the excessive punishment borne by his clan in the past.
अबे रुक
In the
रुक के मत
interest of
बोल.
preventing further
जल्दी जल्दी बोल दे.
harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters. We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor.
Okay, finally it's up.
I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun and the Shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
मतलब?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice. With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the
मुझे
Kaidaharas
स्टोरी
will be
बिल्कुल नहीं समझ
bladesmiths
में आ
once
रही है.
more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end. You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support of the Shogunate.
लगता है कुछ आगे बताएंगे, छोड़ना. मैं ज़्यादा जरा actually
I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall
confused हो
walls
रहा
of
हूँ
the
actually कि
city abode.
क्या चल रहा है.
Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidahara and the art of blade making for which it stood. I do have a responsibility to restore their honor.
I sense some hesitation
हाँ
in
but
your
क्यों
words.
क्या चल क्या रहा है मेरे को
Should
ये
you
बताओ.
accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
या फिर मैं कुछ मिस कर दूँ. तो मैंने कुछ मिस किया है.
We heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost wondered whether there was another Kaidahara Kazuha in town.
Well, to some, the Musono Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They
अबे
cannot accept the idea that Mr.
हिटोताची कौन
Kaidahara
है?
really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaidahara Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Using a delusion turns you old and frail, and Kazuha still looks fine.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more inconceivable notion still.
This is just one of many similar rumors.
लेकिन अबे वो तो टूट गया उसका
Comfortable
नया
being
वाला
the subject
दूसरा
of
वाला
public
इलेक्ट्रिक वाला.
discussion, no matter whether it
अबे तो
brings
उसके पास एक
suspicion
विंड वाला ही
or
बचा है.
stardom my way. But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this situation will blow over more quickly.
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
Please allow me some time to consider. In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then, what brings the two of you here?
Yikes! We
Oh,
nearly
finally.
forgot about the most important thing.
हाँ. चल क्या रहा है?
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me?
Do you have any feelings? ये पूछना मेरे को अच्छा लगेगा.
No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that each can be fairly assessed for quality. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaidahara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity you speak of was coincidence alone.
All the more reason to watch your back. This guy was a serious nutcase.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious injury, or worse.
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will also need some time to consider your offer. I will first join the traveler in investigating the one who attacked him, then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on.
Thank you.
Let's go and track down your aggressor.
Karan.
The detective
Karan.
agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what
भाई ये
Ryuji has to say.
कमेंट इसने किया है, सही है, मेरे को अच्छा लगा। कैसा भी कमेंट हो अपने को अच्छा लगेगा भाई। अच्छा मेरे को निकलना है ना, अच्छा अच्छे है। एक सेकेंड ना, मेरे को जरा एक कमेंट करना है।
Most humans could have the entirety of their fleeting lives chronicled in but a few short lines. Their stories really make for terribly dull reading.
Ow. एक सेकेंड।
Personally, I think the idea of things staying the same forever is quite beautiful. But alas, that is simply not the way the world works. Traveling to other worlds is all that anyone seems to be writing about these days. Goodness knows what they find so disappointing about their own world.
ये करना जरूरी था मेरे को। अबे कितनी बार दिखाओगे? अच्छा
It's about time he realized that.
Most humans could have the entirety of their fleeting lives chronicled in but a few short lines. Their stories really make for terribly dull reading.
मैंने पिछले वीडियो में आई मीन लाइव स्ट्रीम में नोएल का ये दिखाया था क्या बोलते हैं बिल्ड मैंने नोएल का बिल्ड नहीं दिखाया था शायद ओके मैं फिर से गलती कर रहा हूँ मैं चल के जाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ जो मेरे को नहीं करना है मुझे पता है मैं चल के नहीं जाता हूँ टेलीपोर्ट मारो सीधा टेलीपोर्ट करूंगा तो मजा आएगा
A quick question.
हाँ बोल जल्दी
Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him? For Kaidahara Kazuha, we mean.
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaidehara. I've heard a lot about you. It is an honor to finally meet you today.
एक सेकंड ना मुझे एक सेकंड देना
We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can offer.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think.
ओके मेरे को जो करना था मैंने कर
recall anything of immediate interest.
हाँ अभी बता क्या बोल
is currently the
मैंने कुछ सुना नहीं अब 2 मिनट पहले
always a lot of people looking for him. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaidehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Sango would have snapped them up in an instant.
Millions? Of mora? Whoa! Oh, wait, even at that price, you probably still shouldn't.
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Okay.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other people's day-to-day life just for the sake of it.
अच्छा तो तुम सही काम कर रहे हो
Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me that a complete stranger is looking for Mr. Kaidehara. But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Okay.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents recently that stand out as particularly unusual? The Tenryou Commission had very few leads. I thought you might have some information from different sources.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the most trivial events that manage to escape their attention. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryou Commission would absolutely get involved.
Okay.
That does make sense. Uh-oh. Looks like the trail's already run cold.
Okay.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now.
Is this your way to getting giving such of giving? Sorry. It was also not easy for me to fight with him. ऊपर वाला.
I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved that you were the one he targeted. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me. For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man is what drove you to fearlessly raise your blade against the almighty Shogun.
Okay.
You flatter me. Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to gather whatever leads I can for you. Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve an attack, though. Let me tell you about it just in case.
Yeah.
Sure. During times like this, the more information we have, the better.
All right, then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same time.
Hey?
One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The
Okay.
other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Okay.
Amenoma. Now there's a familiar name.
Yes, it's
Right. Yuya
sword
is the
level.
nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma Smithy. 2 grown men going missing at the same
अच्छा,
time.
इसलिए अनेनोमा कागेउची नाम है.
Their cases are likely connected, but I don't know much in the way of details.
मतलब उसने
I
बनाया इसलिए
recall
उसका
this
नाम
because
दे दिया.
Amenoma
सही किया.
Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade.
अच्छा है,
Perhaps he
अच्छा
is
है.
the one you are looking for.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he may wish to attack me.
अच्छा ये कमेंट निकाल दिया. सही है. Let's consider this favor for Ryuichi.
Sure, can't hurt. We never know what we might find out along the way.
पता
Thank
नहीं.
you, Ryuichi. We'll start by making some inquiries at the Amenoma Smithy.
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation. I'll get moving shortly myself.
No, actually मैं ये देखना, मैं V बटन भूल गया किधर था पता है. एक्चुअली मैं कीबोर्ड से हाथ उठा लिया था ना ऊपर, इसलिए प्रॉब्लम हुआ. ये है ना अनेनोमा.
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara Kazuha, what brings you here today?
You two know each other?
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the 2 clans. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects. Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing arts in Inazuma. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun, and over time further honed and enhanced by the most talented craftsmen. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties. And just as iron sharpens iron, so too did we learn much from each other. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out. Until both body. As for the art of the Kaede Hara
टाइम पास
clan,
मत कर, जल्दी
I
जल्दी
believe it's
आगे
called
बढ़.
the Ishin art.
That's right.
Okay.
Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins.
कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं बातें कर रहे थे ये लोग.
Thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
वही यार, ये आने से और ज़्यादा बोरिंग होने लगा है, मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा है.
But an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt,
Actually
the most
बोर
worthy
लग रहा है
wielder
ये
of an
बातें.
Ishin blade. It gladdens my
स्टार्टिंग में
heart
मजा आ
to
रहा
see
था
that although the
देखने में.
Kaede Hara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive and well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew.
यार मैं मोबाइल पे देख रहा हूँ ये.
I reported the case to the Tenryo Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryo Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato.
Seriously, मुझे actually पीछे पूरा अंधेरा अंधेरा दिख रहा है. मोबाइल में बहुत सही दिख रहा है ये.
Unfortunately, there was
इसलिए
very
मोबाइल
little
में गेम
evidence
खेलते
left
हैं लोग
behind,
यार.
so nobody knows what really happened.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon.
Well.
Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not that kind of person. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never gotten into a fight before.
क्या?
Is that so?
Yes.
पहली बात वो sword क्या है? मेरे को समझा पहले तो.
It's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But With that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear, with neither farewell nor fair warning. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry, you have our word.
एक और लाइक किसने किया भाई? कौन वो देख रहा है?
Hyman doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
I will still need to get the info from the भैया नाम.
Yes, it sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
मैं तुम लोगों से फिर से बात नहीं करने वाला, मैं निकल रहा हूँ.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Hyman's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story.
वही मैं भी जानना
Ever
चाहता हूँ.
since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Okay.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons.
Okay.
It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him, but making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum.
What?
I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Whoa!
इतना बड़ा decision लेने की क्या
And
जरूरत
that
है?
led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time.
होगा भाई कोई
When
भी
he
ऐसा
finally spoke, he
ये बात सुनेगा तो
awkwardly
कोई भी
mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell.
साइलेंट ही हो जाएगा.
His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family?
अच्छा मेरे को लगा कि रुक गई बोलना तो. You did the right thing. It's important to set a boundaries. अबे दोनों दोनों अलग अलग मीनिंग कर रहे हैं लेकिन उनका कोई बोलो फेवर एक ही बात है, बस अलग शब्दों में बता रहे हैं.
I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire.
Actually बात करने का जो स्टाइल रहता है
उसकी had gone missing.
प्रॉब्लम है, मतलब किसी भी क्या बोलते हैं यार, मैं शब्द भूल गया, छोड़ दो. मैं कुछ बोलने वाला था, छोड़ दो, मैं कुछ नहीं बोलने वाला है.
And both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. The information we gathered from the other side suggests Amenoma Yuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing?
ये कुछ ज़्यादा confusing हो रहा है. Yes.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
क्या सिर्फ बातें चलने वाली है पूरा स्टोरी में सिर्फ बातें ही है.
I can only surmise that the
मैं तेरे को यूज करने आया हूँ.
was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance.
ये मुझे काजुआ यूज करने को मिलेगा, ऐसा मेरे को लगा था स्टोरी के अंदर.
Though its exact role is a mystery.
बट कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा. कोई फाइट लो, कुछ तो लो, उस बंदे को मारो आके. And what?
Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
मैं खुद कर रहा हूँ. अच्छा मैं बोलना है, मेरे को बोलना है. चलना. बोलना क्या चलना है.
Conclusion based on everything we know. What started as a disagreement over the price escalated and ultimately turned into a tragedy. However,
actually
in this case, only one of the parties would have started the fire.
नहीं करना चाहिए
that would make the other party innocent.
अगर हम कोई प्रॉब्लम करते हैं, अगर चॉइस गलत करते हैं तो कुछ तो डिफरेंस करना चाहिए.
And the innocent man hasn't come forward yet. Then it's
बट क्या कर सकते हैं, इनकी स्टोरी है ना, स्ट्रेट स्टोरी है, तो कर कोई मतलब भी नहीं बनता है.
Is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there?
बहुत कुछ ऐसा कुछ हुआ होगा जिसकी वजह से कोई ना कोई प्रॉब्लम हुई होगी, तभी तो तेरी स्टोरी चल रही है, नहीं तो फिर क्या? मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ पता नहीं।
Key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
Seriously. तो चलो चलता है.
Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
In where? Oh, there. Not there.
But there's nothing here.
Huh.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Tatarigami.
मैंने वीडियो कौन से डाउनलोड किया है?
Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
अच्छा, इसका अभी तक मैंने डिलीट नहीं किया कोई वीडियो.
Huh. So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place, but the residue it left behind still hasn't dissipated completely. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time.
Surely.
From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will. Their interests become fanatical obsessions. Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself in grave debt.
अरे यार बहुत ज़्यादा बड़बड़ कर रहे यार ये लोग.
I'll open the door and take a look inside.
That's
if we
dangerous.
Don't open this door, we can move no closer to.
हाँ जल्दी, मेरे को डेंजर ही चाहिए. जितना डेंजर रहेगा मेरे को मजा आएगा. एक्चुअली ना मेरे को लग रहा है कि YouTube का ग्लिच है.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
So, I'm not sure. You know what I think? ये वाला अच्छा रहेगा.
Too scary. Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out at us.
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left this place. 2 ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami.
Let's hurry.
Yes,
let's hurry.
go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you.
Okay.
Perhaps you too will perceive its ominous presence in the wind.
अरे यार सीरियसली मैंने गलत बटन दबा दिया फिर से मैंने गलत बटन प्रेस किया है और इस तरफ मैंने फिर से ये को बाहर निकाला लेकिन चलो कोई बात नहीं मेरे को चाहिए भी थी मेरे को पता है उस तरफ जाना है नहीं लेकिन मैं ये लेने आया हूँ और लोग तुम बोलोगे कि भाई ये क्यों चाहिए भाई चाहिए मेरे को क्यों वो बाद में पता चलेगा और ये काला धुआं क्या है मैं एक्चुअली नहीं इसके ऊपर स्विच कर लेता हूँ क्या है मिंट अच्छा ठीक है इससे बात करनी है ना भाई इससे नहीं करनी बस ये काले धुएं का पीछा करो ये काला धुआं कहाँ पर जाएगा इस तरफ
From this point, the trail appears to split into 2. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here and seems to be dissipating slowly. Quite possibly. Let's search the area.
हाँ वो एक्चुअली ना ये कर सकते हैं कि ना I mean, वो मतलब गेंशिन वाले ये कर सकते हैं कि डायलॉग्स को कम ज्यादा कर सकते हैं Finally.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Finally, मेरे को हाथ साफ करने का मौका मिला.
Wind, hear me. Right here.
It's.
लेकिन मेरे को काजुआ का यूज करना था लेकिन उन्होंने दिया है जीन यूज करने पड़ेगा.
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn. Well, let's take a look.
एक्चुअली लैग हो रहा है स्ट्रीम पे भी लैग दिखता है और वो चीज मेरे को पसंद नहीं आ रही है मैं और कुछ नहीं कर सकता मैं पूरे लोएस्ट सेटिंग पे किया और फिर भी let's ask a commission to the
there's nothing more for us to find.
Third search letter there are the more important thing right now.
Yes. Right now we need to uncover some more important truths.
सही बात बोला.
If Ame no Mayuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him.
Right. So let's get moving.
How did come to this? It's not his nature. हैं? हाँ मतलब क्या बनता है हाँ?
I wouldn't be surprised if he too fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami.
कुछ ऑप्शंस का तो मतलब ही नहीं बनता है.
Martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power and skill. All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected. It seems that now we know the thread that runs between them. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not
Not only
only
the
explains the
experience,
series
the
of
series of
events leading to
events
the two
leading to
men's
the two men's
disappearance,
disappearance.
but also zeroes in on the attacker's identity.
Okay.
Wait, you figured it out? So
What?
these two cases are connected after all?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. I will only be able to confirm my suspicions once we've met him in person.
ठंड लग रही है मेरे को.
On with the search. We must stay vigilant. At any point now, we may find ourselves in danger.
बस हिली चलते यार. क्या बोल रहा है तू? डेंजर. तू इसको डेंजर बोल रहा है. ओ भाई प्लीज लग जा. हाँ बस सही. नहीं 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 टच जा. हाँ कुछ ज्यादा नहीं ऊपर है. थोड़ा नीचे और थोड़ा नीचे. सही है. बस इसको टच कर. नहीं जरूरत ही नहीं छोड़ना. एक्चुअली ये देने की जरूरत ही नहीं थी.
Why here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time.
Show yourself! It's no use hiding anymore.
Finally. Finally you're here, man.
Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before. What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Miyuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Ame no Miyuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
हाँ मैं वही सोच रहा हूँ.
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa! Surely you don't mean... Are you serious?
Yes.
Origami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, or rather as a means to occupy Ame no Miyuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already... Many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith as a descendant of the Kaidahara clan.
अब
You
अच्छे
should be
से
able
बता
to
रहे
guess
हैं.
our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he
मुझे
could
जानना
do
है ये
was to
राइडन
flee the
गोकैटन कौन
nation
है.
by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya.
क्योंकि
He
मैं
was a bladesmith of great renown,
मेरे
a
को नहीं पता
master of
कौन
his
है.
craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill, it culminated in his creation of me.
Okay.
He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
So... swords can become conscious? And
अच्छा ये
control people?
पर्पल शैडो का मैंने
The
ये
people
था.
of the
ये
time
तो
in
कुछ
which
और
I
है.
was born never believed I had that kind of
Up on the
power. They saw me as a mere
plane
blade, a sharp and
पर्पल शैडो.
well-crafted one, but in all other respects an ordinary. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me one step closer to my ancestral home.
Okay.
I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin art.
Ah, So Amenoma Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired or injured or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line.
इसीलिए वो काजुआ को ढूंढ रहा है.
Take me back to Inazuma.
You're awful.
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun. Kaedehara Kazuha stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come.
Hey.
Now, give your body over to me!
आजा आजा ले ले
Submit to me.
आजा मार कितना मारना पहले
We shall rewrite history.
ओके इसका पावरफुल अटैक है वाओ वो सीरियसली ये इस तरह से अटैक कर सकता है नहीं ये क्यों किया मेरे को पता नहीं मैंने
Steady as stone.
मैं अच्छा 5 नहीं मैं 2 दबा रहा था ओह पानी का स्वर्ल मिला ओह अच्छा डैमेज भी है इसका अंदर 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 पानी के अंदर चल 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 क्या बात है यार तो ये भी ले अभी ओ पता है मेरी जिन भी अच्छा स्वर करती है तो थोड़ा सा हील कर लूं मैं
Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too.
अच्छा ठीक है Yes, perfect.
I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit, nothing more.
तो मेरे साथ आ जा मेरे को तो
defeat me here. The one who falls will not be me, but this man.
आया का को दे दो चलो.
But a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will. The end result is the same. I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. My consciousness shall endure. By any means necessary, and any medium available, I shall return and fulfill my destiny!
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenoma Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time.
Okay.
You were trapped.
कहाँ पर trapped?
After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host without making physical contact.
Ew.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Aminoma Yuya and make your escape.
What of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that is so strong it threatens to overwhelm you. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. Each step you have taken has come at a great cost. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew, and the more you wished to run from the truth. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal.
Oh,
You
Shogun is
returned
defeated.
to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life. Even if you were to sever that divine light, is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded you as mere tools to do your bidding. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony between a blade and its bearer?
Silence, you blabbering fool!
Okay.
I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and the very purpose for which I was brought into being.
अच्छा.
I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see
यार,
my predicament clearly.
तू बहुत ज़्यादा बोल रहा है यार.
Underestimate
बस
my
की तेरी कुछ है
resolve.
नहीं.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you
ये
to
बराबर
say.
बोल रहा है.
Facing reality offers me. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and certainly not your so-called reality.
तो डायरेक्ट शोगन से लड़ ले. नहीं आ पाएगा तो इसके
It is
साथ.
pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedahara clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength to the test.
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his demands.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Aminoma Yuya from your control.
Okay. That's nice plan. This is a risky strength. Yes.
This is the only way to save Aminoma Yuya. If we don't do, the cursed blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Aminoma Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a
ये बात
chance here
सही
to
बोला
save an
तूने.
innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Hey!
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too.
भाई वो एक 5 स्टार है, मेरे पास 3 5 स्टार है.
Take me in your hand.
Oh, that's cool.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I
हाँ,
felt a little
पता है
dizzy
मेरे
at
को.
first, but only for a moment. It's all
Oh यार,
right.
it looks
So far,
nice यार.
this
मोबाइल
was
में
as I
बहुत सही
expected.
दिख रहा है मेरे को. If something says off, let me know immediately.
I will. Thank you.
What should we do next? Have you got a plan,
अरे
Kazuha?
कुछ भी कर, कुछ भी कर.
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the Adventurers Guild. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin ever...
यो मजा आएगा.
Please lead the way.
हाँ, डोमेन होता है ना एक हर एक इसमें.
He'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness yet.
Are we sure this is a good idea? It's a pretty treacherous journey. Okay, fine.
Just be careful, बराबर है. वैसे वो एक सेकेंड. ए अपने को प्रीमोजेंस मिल रहा है क्या? नहीं मिल रहा है मेरे को, पता था. ओके, क्या बोलते हैं इसको? क्वेश्चन नेम हर बार चेंज हो रहा है. ओके 20. नहीं, अरे यार, यहाँ से ऊपर चढ़ना पड़ेगा. या मैं इधर से आ जाऊँ? ना, इधर से आ जाऊंगा मैं. ऊपर चढ़ना नहीं मेरे को पसंद. पहाड़ से नीचे आने में सही. पहाड़ से नीचे उतरो, सही है. अभी मेरे को गर्म हो रहा है, मैं फैन लगा रहा हूँ अभी. एक सेकंड को. ये लेना इम्पोर्टेंट है अपने को, ये मुझे चाहिए. जितने हो सके उतने दो, ढूंढने में काम आएंगे इलेक्ट्रिक व्हील्स को. लोग बोलेंगे इंटरैक्टिव मैप का यूज करो ना भाई. वो पेन है, उससे सर दर्द होता है बस. वो घंटों कौन बिताएगा इसी चीज के ऊपर? मतलब एक तरफ मैप देखो, एक तरफ गेम खेलो, ऐसा नहीं, मजा नहीं आता है. अभी दिख नहीं रहा कुछ भी, लेकिन ना, नहीं. चलो कोई बात नहीं, यहाँ तो उतरना ही है. ठीक है. अरे तुम लोग ये दे रहे हो फिर सिर्फ? कुछ शर्म करो. ठीक है, मैं एक चीज करूंगा, मैं फायर लेके जाता हूँ. एक सेकेंड, मैंने हीलर नहीं लिया. मैंने हीलर नहीं लिया है. बहुत बढ़िया. रुको, एक सेकेंड. मेरे को हीलर चाहिए एक्चुअली. एक हीलर तो मुझे चाहिए ही चाहिए. मैं भी सही में यार, बुलेट तो एक हीलर मेरे को रखना ही है. लेकिन दो आने के साथ अच्छा रहेगा ना. लेकिन अभी मेरे को पता भी नहीं ना, क्योंकि अगर अभी मैं एंटर किया था तो ये काजू अकेला था।
Leave everything on this journey to me.
ओ अपने पास ये तलवार है अभी। अरे ये क्या फिजिकल डैमेज है भाई।
The wind knows me. Let's get down to business.
जरा इसके पास तो आना। आजा आजा आजा।
One with nature.
और
Clouds high. The birds call.
How are you feeling? You okay?
मजा आया मेरे को,
All right.
पर इतना भी नहीं।
Largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
है।
Strange. Rather than trying to control me, he's instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
हाँ तो भाई एक अरे भाई तो बहुत सारा मेरे को एनर्जी रिचार्ज मिला। अब मुझे पता चला काजुआ के लोग इतना दीवाने क्यों है।
Let's get down to business.
भाई तुम लोगों ने सही चीज दे के रखी है, मेरे को पास नहीं है चीज, क्योंकि मैं एक्चुअली फायर इसीलिए ले रहा था कि मैं स्वर्ल ज्यादा से ज्यादा कर सकूं। भाई ई आ जाओ मेरा लकी डे आज। 1 2 3 ना भाई ना। और कौन बचा? नहीं। What's going on?
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Amanome Yuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still trying to achieve
his goals. ठीक है, डोर ऑफ द नहीं भाई, इससे बचना पड़ेगा मेरे को, इससे बचना पड़ेगा, इससे बचना पड़ेगा। इसके खिलाफ मैं सिर्फ ई यूज करूंगा क्योंकि ना ये इशू देगा, ये इशू देगा मेरे को। भाई देवी तेरा अटैक इंक्रीज हुआ है क्या? आजा नीचे, सही टाइमिंग। वो अटैक करेगा अभी, नहीं किया उसने अटैक, परफेक्ट। ओके, आग बूझ रही है, आग बूझ रही है, इधर आओ। बस हो गया, लस लग जाए तेरे। तू निकल गया बाहर, अंदर जा। मेरे को लगा था ये हैवी अटैक मारता है यार। देखा कितने हैवी अटैक्स है इसके। इससे मेरे को यही प्रॉब्लम है। कुछ नहीं है, बस उसने हेवी अटैक यूज किया इसलिए। मैं तो
this time we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form?
What do you mean true form? Oh, hold on. Ooh.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi. much less the almighty Shogun.
Yeah, Shogun को मारने के लिए थोड़ा और चाहिए.
Power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me.
Perhaps
then you would
then
still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the one who made you. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Here they are! Take them down!
Okay. चमचा है इसके साथ. अरे स्पॉनर है.
Yup, we can help this time.
Don't worry, I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
मजा आएगा. अरे यार, अरे फूल कर लिया इसको. भाई तेरी कौन सी ब्लेड है, दिखा मेरे को. भाई दिखा. अबे देखने दे मेरे को, ब्लेड देखने दो. अच्छा वही है. अरे वही है. बट वो वाली तलवार लेके घूम रहा है जो अपन अभी लड़ रहे थे. अरे देखो मेरे को डैमेज कैसे पड़ा इतना. ये भाई रुक. अरे भाई रुक. फायर. ये क्या था? जो भी कुछ था सही था. मैं मरा ही मरा. ओ क्या बचा वो. नहीं मरते बचा हूँ मैं.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit.
यार मैं seriously sword नहीं देख पाया यार.
No one knew. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you.
सही बात
Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level of glory.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything.
Yep.
This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and sap. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
Who eats Tatarigami?
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it is an integral
confused होता है तो
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination, the moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever
unleashed
for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything.
Everything, my life, my home, my
heart, my consciousness,
and purpose.
How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy."
Bas.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
चला स्टोरी खेलने का मेरा जो पर्पस था वो काम मेरा पूरा हो गया. Hey,
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further
what
harm.
is this?
Let's give him some time to reflect on things.
Okay. अच्छा मुझे लगा कि नहीं जाता है जब तक शो होएगा ही नहीं ना मुझे क्या है.
When I touched the hilt for the first time,
मैं एक्चुअली देखना भूल गया कि काजुआ के ऊपर क्या लगा हुआ है.
It was somewhere I've never been. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak, and his life near its end. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Wow. That was the blade's memory, wasn't it?
Indeed. While in exile in
नहीं मेरे को उस
he
ब्लेड
spent
की
the rest of
मेमोरीज
his
नहीं
life
सुननी.
in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the F2P, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. But he never wished to rival the gods. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith, that they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the true story. But
Okay.
after that, the blacksmith's intentions were warped by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated path. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its errors when it was losing its way.
Shame it's too late now.
Yes. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment. He seems to have calmed down, though. Let's go and check in.
चलो फाइनली अच्छा इस डोमेन से बाहर नहीं जाना है और बातें होगी. बताओ भाई क्या चल रहा है.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numbed the mind.
यार बहुत शांत हो रहा है मामला.
Between gratitude and grudge. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition, I also defiled.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement and release Amenoma Yuya. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and my creator?
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Amenoma Yuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot milder. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give him a chance?
जरूर जरूर क्यों नहीं. हमने को मजे लेने.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me that he had wanted me to have the grandest opening battle.
किसके साथ?
Alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again.
मैं नाम भूल जाता है, वैसे मैं नाम देखना नहीं था.
Myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey.
The
next in a long line of transgressions. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle
and experience
a true duel between samurai.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness.
Perhaps after that
you can convince him to commit to a fight with you.
Why?
You must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina and will to fight.
Yep, बात बराबर बोली.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryo Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention.
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any
यार
moment.
थोड़ा तो शांत बैठो यार.
In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
अच्छा चलो फिर. Finally got it. कुछ तो मिला. एक चेस्ट ही क्यों नहीं. ओ 3 इलेक्ट्रोसिचे. सही है. गलती से भी टच मत करना उसको. ऐसे नहीं लीव करना यार, ऐसे. I mean, एक से मैंने लीव क्यों किया? मैं चेक भी नहीं किया आजू बाजू में और मैंने लीव कर दिया. अभी मैं वापस इधर नहीं जा पाऊंगा. ये गया सिंबल, ये गया अभी, लेकिन इसके अंदर कुछ है क्या? भाई कुछ नहीं है, खाली पड़ा है, बक्सा है खाली. काश इसके अंदर कुछ तो होता. एक छोटा मोटा डब्बा. एक और चीज रुको एक सेकंड. मैं क्या सोच रहा देखने वाला था कि ये कितने हैं मेरे पास. यहाँ पर चेक होते हैं वो. I mean यहाँ पर 15 है. 15 में तो कुछ होने वाला है नहीं, तो फिर चलो इधर चलते हैं. यहाँ से पीछे जाना है. चलो इस तरफ भागो रे. अरे एक भेड़िया का बोलो मत, वो फॉक्स दिखा मेरे को. राइट, एक सेकंड, ये क्या चीज है? अरे भाई तू इधर आ.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep.
मैं अभी स्किप कर रहा हूँ, मेरे से नहीं झेल रहा.
Okay. Successor of honored to cross.
It is my honor.
पानी 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 पानी. अंदर 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 अंदर. मेरे को पता है एक डैश मारते हैं. मैं मजे लेना चाहता हूँ. रुको. हाँ आजा. मार 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 मार. नहीं 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 नहीं.
The wind knows me.
क्या हुआ? ओ भाई इधर कुछ तो था. अभी मैं तेरे को पानी के अंदर भेज के ही रहूंगा. रुक. हाँ कर. अटैक कर, अटैक कर, अटैक कर. ना भाई वो ना मानना. वो नहीं मानेगा, छोड़ो। ओ अरे अभी मैं क्लिक करना भूल जाता। हे हे
The wind knows me. Time to go.
रुको 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 रुको, होल्ड ऑन, रुको। अभी मेरे पास काजुआ है, मेरे को देखने तो क्या है इसके ऊपर। इन्होंने क्या किया है, 222 एलिमेंटल मास्टर रखी है इन्होंने, सॉरी 220 एलिमेंटल मास्टर रखी है। डिफेंस को नहीं रखा है। मैक्स एचपी रखी है इन्होंने। एचपी क्यों रखी है इन्होंने, मैं समझा नहीं, एचपी क्यों रखी है। अटैक 17 रखा है, फिर रखा क्या है इसके ऊपर ज्यादा, ऐसा सब कुछ नॉर्मल सा रखा है। एनर्जी रिचार्ज भी 135 है, 91 क्रिटिकल डैमेज है, 57 क्रिटिकल रेट है। आर्टिफैक्ट्स में भी नोबलेस सेट रखा है। वाई प्राइज इशिंग ब्लेड, ओके। ये कैसा इस तरह से बना के सच में जो अभी अपने को डैमेज देखने को, रुको एक और चीज देखनी थी मेरे को, एक और चीज देखनी थी। 2 सेकंड रुक दे। कॉन्स्टलेशन 3 टैलेंट्स 8 11 8 8 नॉट राउंड, और ऊपर से ये भी है लेवल 90 है। चलो कोई बात नहीं, लेवल 90 है तो चलता है। और ये भी लो, फिर भी इतना ज्यादा डैमेज कैसे कर पा रहा है, या फिर भी अरे हाँ, ये तो डैमेज कर ही नहीं रहा ना, ये अपोनेंट ही कमजोर है। मैं वही बोलूँ, ये डैमेज क्यों कर रहा है इतना। बट एक्चुअली भाई तो चीटिंग कर रहा है। I mean, मैं चीटिंग कर रहा हूँ, जो हवा में उड़ रहा हूँ ना मैं, ये गलत चीज है, क्योंकि इससे बहुत फर्क पड़ता है। लो अभी मैं अपने आप को डैमेज दूंगा कुछ सेकंड्स के लिए।
Thank you for the experience. Although he appears battered and broken, his sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away.
Oh, finally.
There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
What?
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness, nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf.
बराबर बोला।
It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone and not let them stray far from the straight and narrow. I beseech you.
अबे छोड़ यार।
Thank you.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish.
What?
He would like to visit the Amenoma smithy. Maybe we can go back there.
What does he want?
I'm not sure.
चलो चलो चलो, और थोड़ी बातचीत करेंगे। आज तो बातचीत में ही निकाल देंगे दिन। भाई सीरियसली पर 2 घंटे होने का आ रहे हैं, बातचीत ही कहे जा रहे हैं, बातचीत ही कहे जा रहे हैं। भाई सीरियसली मैं अभी कितना घंटा हो, अच्छा 40 मिनट, एक घंटा 40 मिनट, ठीक है, 1 घंटा 40 मिनट से सिर्फ बातें ही कर रहा हूँ मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ, ये कर रहे हैं। मेरे को तो बोलने का चांस ही नहीं मिला। अभी बोलने के चांस है तो मैं बोल नहीं पा रहा हूँ, मैं क्या बोलूँ बताओ। मैं बोर हो चुका हूँ पूरा इनकी बातें सुन के। अभी ये और बातें करेंगे इनके साथ, बातें ही करेंगे आज तो।
I am sorry to have troubled you.
अरे कोई बात नहीं रे, कोई बात नहीं. तेरे ट्रबल से मेरे को मजा आया.
Turned weapon. Considering their forging philosophy, but I have some good.
Really? Is he okay?
Yes, badly wounded, but and now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending to this story is a.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way! Hasn't it learned its lesson?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body for anything nefarious. I have decided...
कर ले कोई बात नहीं, इतना तो भरोसा रख सकते हैं.
Thank you. I will explain my... Okay. I am ready. Let us begin.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable.
Okay, अभी तो स्टोरी है डायरेक्टली. मैं तो कुछ कर ही नहीं पाऊंगा.
Give everything I have in this moment. My physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean?
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness.
नहीं फाइन है वो, उसको कुछ नहीं हुआ. मजे में है वो.
You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as
मैं क्या बोल रहा था?
Ishin blade,
ये
it will still fulfill his final wish.
ये थोड़े ना ब्लैक स्मिथ है.
Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
ये स्क्वाड अवेलेबल है. ये क्या हुआ? कोई आ रहा है क्या मेरे वर्ल्ड में? आ नहीं सकता क्योंकि कोऑप मोड तो डिसेबल है मेरा.
So that's why he said it had to be done in that his consciousness will
Kagotsurube.
अच्छा मेल आया होगा बराबर.
Only in the fight.
Seems like he.
The same fervent ambition. Speaking for myself, I understand. Hearing his your quest to face the god. After everything, I will continue to support you from this point.
Wait.
Oh.
मेरे को मेल आया इसलिए तो मैं चेक कर रहा हूँ. मेल ही है ना? क्या आया क्या है? मेरे को कुछ तो साउंड आया, मेरे को ये पता है, लेकिन किसका साउंड था वो? मैं कोई तो नहीं था. मुझे बस साउंड आया कि क्लिक करके कोई तो साउंड आया कि भाई कुछ तो है तेरे वर्ल्ड में आया है. लेकिन ना कुछ नहीं समझ में आया क्यों आया वो साउंड. इससे बात करनी है, चलो कर लेते हैं बात इससे भी.
You've returned the Tenryou Commission.
Then we needn't recount.
ऐसा क्यों लग रहा है कि मैं थक गया हूँ इनके बातें सुन के.
As to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
Okay, एक quest almost.
Kagotsurube Ishin, a weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaedehara.
Oh, ये weapon है ना?
Fortuitous events.
मेरे पास नहीं है लेकिन ये weapon है.
Clan has always been a. Were I to accept your good.
You misunderstand.
I am aware.
Very well. However, if you.
Great. Thank you for.
Where will you travel to next?
As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
पता नहीं। क्वेस्ट कंप्लीट। यस, मेरे को ब्लेड, मतलब मैं सोच रहा था कि ये ब्लेड है या नहीं है, लेकिन ब्लेड मुझे मिल गई सीरियसली। नाइस। क्या है इसके ऊपर? अटैक है। अटैक परसेंटेज में when the normal attack and charge or plug-in attack hits an opponent, it will whip, अच्छा wipe up having glad, क्या ये having glad? Dealing the AOE damage to the 180% of the attack and increase the attack by 15% for the 8 seconds. This effect can be triggered once every 8 seconds. Okay. तो अभी पहली बात तो मेरे को शायद ये स्वॉर्ड मिली है, ना कि मेरे को क्राफ्ट करने के लिए नहीं मिली। अगर क्राफ्ट करने के लिए मिली होती तो फिर मैं बना लेता, लेकिन क्राफ्ट करने के लिए शायद से नहीं मिली है। हो गया ना? हो गया ना? ये क्या कंप्लीट है? 40 और 30 हो गया, मतलब इतना ही है। क्वेस्ट में देखते हैं ना। यस कंप्लीट है। अब खाली मेरे को ये करना है, जो फिर ये मेरा पूरा खाली हो जाएगा, एम्प्टीनेस से भर जाऊंगा फिर से मैं। आई मीन मेरी क्वेस्ट लिस्ट एम्प्टी हो जाएगी। मेरे को एक क्वेस्ट लिस्ट को एम्प्टी करना है मेरे, और 24 ये हो चुके। तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ ना, मीको किधर है? मेरा मीको का एक किधर है डोमेन? मीको का डोमेन कर लूँ मैं इधर। चलते चलते एक मीको का डोमेन करेंगे और कुछ देखेंगे क्या बचता है करने के लिए। और वो जो 5 बुक जो ढूंढना है उनको अपन ढूंढेंगे, लेकिन मुझे पता नहीं है कि कौन सी बुक लें। तो उधर जाके मैं पता कर लूँगा ना, वो उसके पास जाके वो बता देता है ना।
Emerge. Leave it all to me. Whirling snow.
पता नहीं ये क्यों किया मैंने।
Right here. Emerge. Right now.
यही मौका है।
Always watching. My apologies. Wind, hear me.
मेरे बस मैं क्या बोलने वाला था, बस पीटो इनको।
Right here, right now. Emerge. Time to clean up.
जरा लॉन्ग रेंज अटैक्स।
Someone needs steady as stone.
ये एक्चुअली हील के लिए काम आता है, लेकिन मैंने अभी यूज कर लिया। यही मौका है दोनों को एक साथ लपेट लेने का।
Right here.
मैंने बहुत टाइम इसको रखने की कोशिश की है।
Right now.
पता नहीं क्यों, लेकिन शिनियान के साथ ये इजी लगता है मेरे को। हाँ, ये एक्चुअली शामलिन के साथ मेरे को इजी लगता है। अयागा से बेटर है शामलिन मेरी। लीव करो ऊपर से। ऑफकोर्स अयागा से बेटर है मेरी शामलिन। पता नहीं, मैंने टेस्ट नहीं किया पूरा, लेकिन है तो सही। पर मैं आया को ऑलवेज फील्ड पे नहीं रख सकता, मुझे प्रॉब्लम होती है यार, मुझे चलने को नहीं होता सीरियसली। स्प्रिंट उसका मेरे को समझ में ही नहीं आता कैसे करना है। तो सही है, 3 मिल जाएंगे अभी मेरे को। ये भी एक बना लेता हूँ ना। ओ ये भी बन पाएगा अभी तो। ये भी बना लेते हैं, 2 है ना, 2 लगा लेते हैं ना। जरूरत भी है अपने को येलो की, यानी कि पर्पल की। और कुछ करना है यहाँ पर देखते हैं, इनमें से किसी के टैलेंट को इंक्रीज करना है। 9 पे है ना अभी तो मेरा का हो गया फिर तो। आया का को कर सकते हैं ना, अभी टाइम है जी। मैंने ये यूज कर लिया मैंने इसको कन्वर्ट कर लिया, मेरे को दूसरा कन्वर्ट करना था, लेकिन फिर भी ना इसको तो लगता है ना, ये तो इस अरे यार 10 पे 11 पे चली जाएगी यार ये, इसका गोल गोल घूमने वाला। 113। ये भी 11% से बढ़ रहा है। समझ नहीं आ रहा कि क्या करूं, क्योंकि ये मैंने नोएल के लिए रखा है। नहीं यार मैं नोएल के लिए रखूंगा, छोड़ना, इसको कंप्लीट करना है मुझे कुछ भी करके। मैं चाहता तो इसको भी अपडेट कर सकता, लेकिन ना मेरे को ये करना है, ये इसको क्राउन कर लेना है मेरे
Leave it to me.
को,
All
ऑल
of
ऑफ
it,
इट।
whatever it is. What
सही बात।
exactly is it?
पहले मैं हील कर लूँ जाते जाते, हीलिंग इज इम्पोर्टेंट। हीलिंग नहीं तो कुछ नहीं, हीलिंग करना इम्पोर्टेंट है। सही तो। ओके अभी एक और चीज करना है, इसमें करने के लिए बहुत कुछ है, लेकिन समझ में नहीं आता कि क्या क्या करना है, इतना सब कुछ पड़ा है। अभी मेरे को इसमें भी जाना है, क्या नाम है इसका, टी पॉट में भी जाना है, रेल में, आई मीन रेल में जाके मेरे को वो चीज ले लेनी है पहले तो, रेल करेंसी करेक्ट करनी है। रेल करेंसी, here it is। 720, 720। इधर पटाखे मत फूट रहे। चलेगा, अचीवमेंट कंप्लीट कर लेते हैं। 1 2 3 4 और लास्ट 5। अचीवमेंट कंप्लीट नहीं हुई, वाई? क्या मैंने पहले ही कर दिए? वो अच्छा कंप्लीट हुई ना, वही बोलूं कंप्लीट क्यों नहीं हुई। अच्छा शो नहीं किया इन्होंने ना, खाली लास्ट तक। बोले बोले तो एंड कर ले, सब कुछ कर ले फिर दिखाएंगे। तो अभी अपने को नेक्स्ट इसके लिए ही रखना है मेरे को। वैसे है तो बहुत टाइम, लेकिन फिर भी रख देता हूँ। ओ ये कुछ नया है, क्राफ्ट कर लेना। मैं ज़रा ये वाले कर लूँ, क्योंकि ये 200 कुछ करने हैं। ये हो गए ना 5, ये 5 हो गए। रेलम डिपॉजिट यही देखना है मेरे को। यहाँ से मेरे को मोरा ले लेना है बहुत सारा। बोला मेरे को बस मोरा की कमी नहीं है। गुड बाय।
Someone needs assistance.
भाई वो क्राफ्टिंग के लिए आई है क्या तलवार नई वाली? नहीं आई यार, एक ही मिली वो। अने ये बनाओ या नहीं बनाओ समझ नहीं आ रहा मेरे को। मेरे को ये और बनानी है या फिर वाइट ब्लाइंड लगाओ, समझ नहीं आता। वाइट ब्लाइंड में यूज करने वाला हूँ नहीं भाई। इतना डिफेंस लेके मैं क्या करूँ? मेरे को नहीं लेना है इतना डिफेंस। सिंपल बात है, मैं डिफेंस बढ़ा के अगर अटैक को कम कर रहा हूँ ना तो मतलब की बात ही नहीं है। हाँ, डिफेंस और अटैक दोनों एक साथ बढ़ रहे हैं तो वो मतलब है, तो उसका मतलब बनता है कि हाँ भाई चलो अटैक भी बढ़ रहा है डिफेंस भी बढ़ रहा है, दोनों एक साथ चल रहे हैं, फिर बात बनती है कि हाँ भाई कुछ तो। अबे 2 अडेप्टर्स पागल हो गए तुम लोग? एक दिन में नहीं हुई, ये तो बहुत ही मुश्किल है। नॉट जस्ट अ स्मॉल बेंच, नॉट जस्ट अ स्मॉल बेंच। 300 है भाई, 600 करना डबल है पूरा। पागल हो गए हो तुम लोग। रिसीव गिफ्ट फ्रॉम योर कंपनी। अब ये कैसे करना है? क्या मेरे को उनसे बात करनी पड़ेगी? कुछ ना कुछ आता रहता है उनमें, मैंने देखा तो है, कुछ ना कुछ चलता रहता है। मेरे को लगता है जो लेवल 10 पे पहुंच गए ना, 10 पे है, उनसे कुछ तो कुछ मिलता है। नहीं, इसके पास तो कुछ है ही नहीं। नहीं यार, मेरे को पता नहीं, मैं एक बार देख लूंगा क्या सीन है वो। पहले मेरे को देखना पड़ेगा कि चल करना क्या है उसमें। एक बार पता चल गया कि क्या है तो मैं आराम से कर लेगा। मैंने आराम से करने जैसे दिक्कत तो है नहीं, मेरे को टाइम कंज्यूम करना पड़ेगा इसके लिए। आई मीन मुझे नहीं, बस गेम को टाइम में, हाँ गेम को बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम देना पड़ेगा मेरे को। एक्चुअली मेरे को खेलना कम पड़ेगा, बस खाली वो ये करना पड़ जाए, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, छोड़ो ना, बाद में देखता हूँ मैं क्या। मतलब फ्रेंडशिप लेवल को बढ़ाते रहने का, ये सब वो सब वही सब बोल रहा हूँ मैं, लेकिन मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ थोड़ा। मुझे आज 6 चाहिए।
If you ever have any questions about
मेरे को ये भी बनानी है। मेरे को सब बनाना है लेकिन कुछ है नहीं का। सीरियसली फिजिकल डैमेज बोनस, इसको भी मैं बना सकता हूँ लेकिन नहीं बनाना है मुझे। मेरे पास इसमें भी अच्छे वेपन्स हैं। ये तो मेरे 100% हो चुकी है, इसको तो बढ़ाने का मतलब ही नहीं बनता है। ये एक अटैक आप वो कर सकता हूँ मैं, लेकिन काम किसके ऊपर करेगा? फिजिकल डैमेज को ना भाई, ये भी नहीं चाहिए मेरे को। एनर्जी रिचार्ज ये तो है मेरे पास, लेवल 5 का है, आई मीन 5 स्टार है, मैं क्यों लूँ? एलिमेंटल मास्टरी है ही नहीं, चाहिए मेरे को एलिमेंटल मास्टरी का। ये एलिमेंटल मास्टरी का नहीं चाहिए मेरे को ये। क्यों? क्या करूंगा मैं? क्या उखाड़ लूंगा वो लेके? और भाई ये कहाँ से मिलता है? मेरे पास टूथ पड़े है, ये नहीं पड़ा है, ये कहाँ से मिलेगा मेरे को? मेरे पास खाली ये चीज़ पड़ी है, क्या कहते हैं इसको, शायद ड्रैगन टूथ, या फिर एक सेकंड देखता ही हूँ ना मैं। हमारे का दिमाग क्यों लड़ा हूँ मैं अपना? किधर है? हाँ ये रहा, ये पड़ा है मेरे पास, स्ट्रेंज टूथ। इसका करूँ क्या मैं? ड्रैगन टूथ ये पिकअप इन ड्रैगन स्पाइन, ठीक है, पता है मेरे को। एक सेकंड, अगर एक सेकंड, मैं बस एक ट्राई करने वाला हूँ, मुझे पता नहीं गारंटेड होता है नहीं होता, लेकिन ना इधर स्टार्टिंग में अपन ने इधर से वो ड्रैगन स्पाइन का क्वेस्ट लिया था, और इधर से वो सबसे पावरफुल वेपन, अपने को पावरफुल क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं, मतलब पहला वेपन अपने को मिला था, पहला 4 स्टार वेपन। नहीं, मेरे को पहला 4 स्टार वेपन नहीं था, मैं बहुत देर से किया था ये वाला क्वेस्ट। मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, ये बंदा, इस बंदे से मेरे को ये टूथ के बारे में पता चला था, परमन से, लेकिन मेरे को नहीं लगता अभी कुछ देगा। ना ये कुछ क्राफ्ट करने के लिए दे रहा है बंदा। भाई ये क्या बेचता है मेरे को देखना है, ये बंदा क्या बेचता है मेरे को देखना है। भाई तो कुछ बेचता है? हाँ बेचता है ना ये भाई साहब, बहुत सही चीज बेचता है भाई तू। इस चीज का मैं क्या करूँ, और इतने महंगे, ऐसे इतनी सस्ते में दे रहा है, लूट रहा है बंदा ये अपने को। मैं एक बार इनसे एक बार बात कर लेना चाहता हूँ बस, मतलब इनके मेन्यू को चेक करना चाह रहा हूँ। मैं पहली बार तूने मेरे को कुछ ना कुछ दिया था भाई, अभी भी देना। एक ही बार मिलेगा भाई, क्वेस्ट के दौरान ही इसको मिलता है। एक सेकंड रुको, इसके पीछे कुछ है ना कुछ। एक सेकंड, ये तोड़ सकता हूँ मैं? ऑफकोर्स मैं इसको जला सकता हूँ, लेकिन तोड़ नहीं सकता। एक और चीज, जरा मैं, हाँ ठीक है चलो। अभी अपने को क्या करना था? हाँ अभी अपने को लॉग आउट करना था। हो गया मेरा आज का, मैं अभी और नहीं सह सकता।
Such fair weather. Why don't we do a bit of sunny?
और कुछ करने के लिए बचा भी है नहीं, सब कुछ तो हो गया, इवेंट्स भी खत्म हो चुके हैं सारे। ये बचा है ना ये खाली, इसको भी करेंगे, लास्ट के 2 बचे, लेकिन मुझे लग नहीं रहा। एक सेकंड, मैं एक्चुअली ये चीज पढ़ता नहीं हूँ पता है, ये चीज ना मैं पढ़ता नहीं हूँ। आफ्टर द एक्टिव, सॉरी, आफ्टर द active character normal charge and plug-in attacks hits opponents, that character's normal charge and plug-in attack damage is increased by 12% for 8 seconds Are these effects can be triggered once every 0.1 second. Max 4 stack, मतलब 12 के 4 स्टैक बन सकते हैं। 36% से बढ़ सकता है ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा, और उसके बाद फिर से रीसेट हो जाएगा। एज स्टैक्स ड्यूरेशन काउंटेड इंडिपेंडेंटली, मतलब कि अगर ये 8 सेकेंड्स के लिए ना, तो ऐसे मतलब हर एक अरे मतलब कि अरे हर एक सेकंड में तेरे को मिल रहा है, क्यों ये कर रहा है? दिस इफेक्ट्स विल बी cleared if the characters leaves the field. देखा, मैं बोला था ये हर सेकंड देने वाला है वो, तो मतलब ही नहीं बनता जब तक वो फील्ड से बाहर नहीं निकलता, मतलब। लेकिन फिर वो दूसरा जो आएगा वो तो एक नॉर्मल अटैक देने में क्या आ जाता है, एक नॉर्मल अटैक दिया हो गया, और हर एक सेकंड में, हर एक सेकंड में नहीं, हर 0.1 सेकंड में। अबे एक अटैक लगने को 1 सेकंड लगता है, 0.1 सेकंड की बात कर रहे हो तुम लोग। ओ, एक सेकंड मतलब कि मैं जितना एक कैरेक्टर को फील्ड पे रखूंगा उतना डैमेज ज्यादा जाएगा। ओ, ये सही बात बोली यार तुम लोगों ने। ये चीज मैं पहले क्यों नहीं पढ़ा? अरे यार सीरियसली तुम लोग ऐसा कर रहे हो यार। अबे ये बात मेरे को पता होती ना, तो मैं एक ही कैरेक्टर से मैसिव डैमेज निकाल सकता हूँ, क्योंकि उसका अटैक 12% नहीं, उसका डैमेज 12% से बढ़ेगा ना। अरे तो फिर और बेहतर है, क्योंकि मैक्स अटैक का डैमेज बढ़ने वाला है, जितना अटैक जाएगा उसका डैमेज गिरने वाला है। जैसे कि ये वाला है, एक सेकंड रुको, किधर है? जैसे कि इसका बोल रहे हैं अटैक डैमेज टू द, ये इस तरह से हो रहा है ना वो चीज, और ये चीज बहुत भयानक चीज है। इंक्रीज अटैक डैमेज, plug-in attack damage is increased by, oh that's perfect, यही तो मेरे को चाहिए। मैं नोएल, देख सुनो, नोएल का चार्ज अटैक थोड़े ना मैं देता हूँ मैं, नोएल क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं, नोएल का ही चार्ज अटैक यूज करता हूँ मैं। इसका इसका क्या नाम है, मिको का नहीं मैं यूज करता हूँ चार्ज अटैक और नॉर्मल अटैक। हाँ, एक तो मैं आयाका का यूज कर सकता हूँ, मतलब एक टीम में मैं आयाका रख सकता हूँ एज ए चार्ज अटैक के लिए, और एक टीम में मैं नोएल रख सकता हूँ। ये परफेक्ट रहेगा, एक टीम में आयाका और एक टीम में नोएल चार्ज अटैक के लिए जाएंगे, चार्ज और नॉर्मल अटैक दोनों भी। ये ओनली डोमेन के क्या दिखता है यार, सीरियसली मस्त दिखता है मैप, जैसे कि एकदम पुराना नया करकरित कोरा करकरित, जो ये नए नए शुरुआत अपन करते हैं मैप की, वैसे दिखता है। ये क्या है, गंदगी फैला के रखी है पूरी इतनी ज्यादा गंदगी फैला के रखी है ना मैंने, ये फूल ही फूल लगा के रखे यार, जीन नो और नोएल के लिए। और इस तरफ ये आया का नहीं, इस तरफ खाली मिको के लिए किया है मैंने। ये देखो, ये 1 2 3, ये 3, और यहाँ पर एक, फिर इस तरफ एक एक, हर कोने पे एक एक पड़ा हुआ है, इधर है, इधर इधर। और इन्होंने गोल्डन एप्पल लाके बहुत सही काम किया। गोल्डन एप्पल में अभी जो नए नए हैं उनके पास निको है और उनके अपडेटेड नहीं है, बट बहुत जगह है गोल्डन एप्पल में, तुम लोगों को फूल मिल जाएंगे बहुत सारे। तो अभी मैं, मेरा हो गया अभी, तो शायद अभी अपन कल मिलते हैं, कल या परसों, या फिर कल परसों में हो कर लूँगा स्ट्रीम। मेरे को जब भी कोई कंटेंट मिलता रहेगा, जैसे कि अभी काजुआ का मिला, कल ये था स्पाइरल अबिस था, जैसे होगा वैसे, मतलब जैसे कंटेंट मिलेगा वैसे अपने को स्ट्रीम करने का मौका मिलेगा। क्योंकि अभी तो ज़्यादा कुछ ऐसा खास तो होता है नहीं, नॉर्मल ये सारा। अभी अभी असली मजा आएगा जब नया मैप आएगा, तो वो सही रहेगा, तब स्टार्टिंग से ही दिखा सकता हूँ। तब मजा आने वाला है। नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट मैप में सही में असली मजा आएगा। तो इसी बात पे मैं स्ट्रीम को स्टॉप करता हूँ आज के लिए, और कल मिलेंगे दोबारा। आज के लिए गुड बाय, गुड नाइट। रात हुई है अभी, तो इसलिए गुड नाइट। तो फिर कल मिलेंगे, पता नहीं किस टाइम पे, दो मोस्ट ऑफ तो रात के टाइम पे मिलते हैं। अभी 2 घंटे का स्ट्रीम होगा भाई साहब, वैसे ज़्यादा भी होता है कभी कभी, लेकिन 2 घंटे इनफ है। तो फिर चलते हैं, अगले बार मिलेंगे। मैं कितनी बार बोल चुका हूँ मैं, छोड़ो, मैं स्टॉप कर रहा हूँ अभी स्ट्रीम। बाय।